Welcome again. I am Folorunsho Olutayo Oyebisi, as some of you may know, and today we are going to be talking about the production of our antiseptic liquid soap. For those of you that have been following me all the while, you will understand that we have been going through series of liquid soap production to give us a better understanding that liquid soap can be produced in several forms. Now today we'll be diving deep into antiseptic liquid soap. You know, how do we make our liquid soap? How do we turn it to an antiseptic kind of soap? That is exactly what we are going to be talking about today. So if you are a newbie, welcome on board. If you are an old subscribers, I thank you for coming along with me all the way. For those of us that are new, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, as there are goodies of so many goodies along the way that have been coming, while those people that are subscribed are still here staying tuned. Thank you, and let's get straight into the business. So here is my pre-production process. You can see me trying to press out the Texapron from inside the nylon. Sometimes I measure out everything inside a nylon like this, just for you to see, or just for me to try to mimic the way people that are buying or producing, that are not selling these things, what they are supposed to be using. You can see me mixing the sulfonic with the Texapron. For those of us that watch the transparent liquid soap, you can see that I used a minimal sulfonic in that production, unlike this one now that I'm using more of the sulfonic. We are still in the pre-production process. You can see me measuring my water. If you want a very clear knowledge about this pre-production process, please watch the video. That's my soda ash. It is advisable you soak your soda ash first. Sometimes the soda ash takes a while to dissolve, so when you soak it first, it will dissolve properly and will it will ferment. So that is why in the bar soap production we refer to that aspect as fermentation period. So you can see I actually poured the soda ash out from the container because I wanted to use that as my major production bowl. You can see me dissolving my caustic soda inside that water. I'm using the measurement cup. Sometimes we have a lot of production going on simultaneously in the store, such that I'm short of containers to use. So I'm trying to use that measurement cup to measure. That is why you see me measuring from there and now measuring into another one. Here is my STPP. You can see here is my I'm dissolving my STPP, dissolving my caustic soda, dissolving my SLS. Those are the three things inside this bowl. This last one is the STPP rather. This second one inside the half-liter cup is the caustic soda, and this one in front, you can see the top is the SLS. I'm showing you other things like the foaming booster, perfume, the pine oil, and the likes. So I'm adding water into this container. I poured out the SLS actually into another bowl so that I can use that measurement cup to measure. But because the SLS is foaming, I decided to put in more water to rinse out the foaming. I'm going to be explaining something to you soon. For those people that usually have issues with lumps in their soap, if you have watched that first video, you will understand that we are pouring water into water. We shouldn't have issues with lumps. But even while you are pouring water into water, if you have made your pre-production process with the same measurement cup like I'm doing in this video, and by the time you start measuring your water for the main production, you can notice a kind of foaming. I'm trying to show you the measurement of the water here. Details of this is in that other video. Please, I'm trying to pass a different message in this, so my emphasis is not on the measurement and the accuracy. However, I'll be telling you that I'm scooping out the foaming to avoid lumps in this soap. If you pour your natural soil inside your producing bowl, and the water in the producing bowl already has foaming on the surface like this, If you pour in your natural salt directly like this, you may be surprised that the soap will have lumps. The natural salt will react with the foam and there will be lumps in your soap. So it's either you use a different container to measure your water, so that by the time you measure the water, like I did in that first video, you're not going to be having any issues with lumps. The powder will sink, you can see, without any issue. You'll be able to probably use your hand if you are using a mixer to mix it thoroughly. Make sure the mixer, or if you are using your hand at this level, the natural salt is thoroughly dissolved. Please, you can only use your hand at that first level, only when you put in that natural salt. I shifted that bowl from the table, from my camera. I'm sorry, I forgot to shift it backward. So you are just going to understand this, that I'm trying to pass a message. If you want a clearer view of this process, you can just watch that first video. You will see it up here. You see it displayed up here. You can click the video and watch it. It has so many thousands of views already. So here you can see me pouring the sulfonic and the Texapon that I already fermented. Now, like I explained in the transparent making liquid soap, I poured in my caustic soda into this bowl of my sulfonic. I like to rinse off the whole of my sulfonic and my Texapon. I showed it in a clearer way in the transparent liquid soap. It's one of the soaps in this series as well. Oh, that's what I'm repeating here. I'm trying to make sure that my sulfonic and my Texapon, I scoop out everything. So I poured in the caustic soda from the bowl, poured it inside this container so that I can scoop out. You can see how neat my sulfonic and Texapon bowl is. You can see that there is nothing like sulfonic and Texapon in it. Therefore, I'm adding in my STPP. You can see that our soap is not as transparent as when we did transparent liquid soap. So this takes me back to the fact that your process of production can determine the end result of your soap, the way the soap will look. Production process has a lot to do with the final destination, the final outcome of our production. So do good to go through the channel Map Gold series. Check how to make your liquid soap, how to make your multi-purpose liquid soap, how to make your transparent liquid soap, how to make your antiseptic liquid soap. They are all on this channel. You can feel free to register for our course. We have courses on the liquid soap, the bar soap, on the essential oil training, the carrier oils. We have trainings on our niche. If you want to go into the selling of the reagents, we are here to put you through, to teach you what we have learned all over the years. You can see that I have started adding the soda ash. I'm adding the soda ash little by little. But if you have watched the first video, you will realize that the rate at which I'm adding the soda ash is definitely faster than the rate at which I added it in that. Emphasis on your production process. I'm trying to drive to a point that your production process matters when you make your liquid soap. For all the different kinds of liquid soap we make, we have various and different production processes. So this particular one follows that liquid soap, multi-purpose liquid soap. But I guess I was rushing it. I was adding the soda ash. I was not really waiting so long before adding the soda ash, unlike the norm that you're supposed to wait for several minutes before adding the soda ash. So the soap is not going to be as transparent as the last video I uploaded, which is the transparent liquid soap. And by now, if you have watched those videos, you will have understood why your soap comes out the way it comes out. If you want a very slow rate learning process on this liquid soap production, even on your bar soap and other courses in this niche, you can click the link in bio. You can message me directly so that I will put you through. I will give you the link to the course and you'll be glad you did. So our soap is almost ready. Antiseptic liquid soap is the purpose of this video. So we are going to be adding pine oil to this soap. What is the purpose of the pine oil? Pine oil is a major reagent in the Dettol. So when we use pine oil in the Dettol, it is anti. It works against rashes. any abnormality on the skin, even on our clothes. So this soap can be used in washing machine, it can be used on our body, it can be used to wash surfaces, wash different environment. That's the foaming booster I'm adding. You can use it to do anything that the Dettol will actually be playing a role. Instead of you to pour your soap separately and pour your Dettol separately into your washing machine, for those of us that even has toddlers, children that may probably wee on their clothes, we don't do that. We just use this kind of soap directly that we have added pine. That will save us the cost of the IPA that we're still going to be adding to our Dettol and the expensive cost of Dettol. Now at this level the soap is ready. This is my pine oil. I'm showing you the pine oil. My pine oil, I'm pouring it into a container. I first of all put Texapon inside this container before pouring in my Texapon. Sorry about the view. Then I will cover it up and shake it thoroughly. What does that mean? That means that I'm trying to break the pine oil. It is an oil, don't forget. Our soap is a water-based production, whereas the pine oil is oil-based. So I added Texapon to this pine oil so that I will break the pine oil. I will break it. It will leave the oil state. The Texapon is acting as a solvent in this case. Now after doing that, I measured this measurement of soap. You can see using my measurement cup. I measured this measure. That's my SLS that I'm pouring inside that blue bowl. I've not yet added my SLS because it had not dissolved. I left it. Now I measured soap out of the already made soap. I poured it into it, and that's my pine oil I'm pouring into that soap. You are not going to pour the pine oil solution inside the whole soap. No, it's good. There's going to be a reaction. You can see this reaction. The reaction will occur in the whole soap. You are supposed to pour it inside a little portion out of the soap. Pour that pine oil inside a little portion out of the soap. The moment you have done that, turn it thoroughly. You will see the reaction showing on that small portion of the soap. As soon as you are done with that, you pour it inside your soap. You can see that I poured it inside my soap and there is no reaction. It's not showing anything. And thereafter, I poured in my SLS solution. And here our antiseptic soap is ready. The antiseptic soap can be used on toddlers, on adults, on children of any category. We have just used 1% of this antiseptic soap as to add it. We have added the pine oil at 1% rate. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you are going to give it a thumb up. I hope that you will produce this video and send me messages, join our Telegram group, send us videos on how you have benefited from the soap and how it has solved problems that you have actually thought of, probably using Dettol alone or using other disinfectant alone. Thank you, and see you in my next video. Bye.